Thank you, Madam Chair. On January, actually, just this past Friday in our packet, received a letter from the mayor dated January 29th, 2008. The letter is to all City Council members. In accordance with Section 5.5 of the Warren City Council Charter, quote, neither the council nor any of its committees shall deal directly with any appointed administrative officer or department of the city, but shall conduct its affairs with such officers and departments, and then in bold, through the mayor, end quote. Next paragraph. Therefore, effective immediately, communications with any member of my administration will go through Henry Kristofchuk, my chief of staff. He will be the liaison between council and me. All communications must be submitted in writing, and again, this is in bold, in writing through the council secretary. Now, number one, the quote of Section 5.5 is actually bastardized because the sentence that he is referring to says, except in the course of an investigation. In other words, when we're trying to get our information, we are entitled to talk to department heads. We can't go to a department head and tell them how to do their job. We can't enter into a contract, but we can ask questions, and we are entitled, not just entitled, we are obligated to ask questions. So when I got this letter that said, submitted in writing to council secretary will go to chief of staff, Mr. Kristofchuk, I was beyond irate. But it said to call Henry at 574-4520. Well, it was after 5, so I called that number thinking I'll leave a voice message and say, Mr. Kristofchuk, chief of staff, please call me first thing Monday morning. Well, we don't have voicemail at the city. So unless you call between 8:30 or 9 to 5, you're not going to get to leave a message. We step back about 15, 20 years. I made some requests in writing. I sent them over to council office to deliver to Mr. Sadowski. Mr. Sadowski says, you don't need my approval. I ran into Mr. Bowman and Commissioner Green. I said, hi, how are you? I can't talk to you. The mayor said, I can't. I had questions. I had questions on a list of bills. And this mayor is telling me I can't ask those questions. Now, this is the mayor who said, we'll build a consensus with council. This is the mayor who said, open door policy, now says, no, all the doors are shut. I was really upset. And again, that's not what our charter says. Not even close. And I know our budget doesn't have chief of staff, but I would imagine that's like chief of police and deputy commissioner, just a matter of how many letters are in the words. So then on February 11th, we got another memo this time from the mayor to all members of council. Just a note of clarification to the letter from me to the Warren City Council dated January 29th. I did not intend to restrict all communications to city department heads regarding council communications, particularly with respect to matters that may be on the Warren Council agenda. So I guess that means we could ask questions. My intention was that all requests by city council members for departmental reports or any written communications be directed to the mayor's office. At the same time, I want you to be able to get individual questions answered by department heads on city council items or information that will help with your city council responsibilities. So now the mayor's telling us we could talk to department heads, we can ask questions, but if we want to report, it must go through the mayor's office. Folks, you've been reading the papers. This is what Mayor Kilpatrick, his chief of staff, and his legal counsel have done in Detroit. That's what the mayor is proposing here. That this council is not entitled to documentation, that we are not entitled to reports that exist in the city. I believe, and Mr. Richards, you could tell me if I'm wrong. If there is a contract in this city, we're entitled to a copy. Are we entitled to a copy? Through the chair to Mr. Richards.
Mr. Richards.
You're entitled to that kind of information. I think the issue has to do with how it's obtained.
Does the mayor have any right to tell me how to conduct my investigation?
Not in that respect, but I think the city charter does indicate.
Well, you tell me in the city charter where.
Go through the mayor's office.
I don't see that in this. I don't see it in our charter. Can you point that out to me?
There is a reference in the charter. I don't know if it's the same section that you're looking at that talks about communications with council going through the mayor's office.
Well, let me read it to you. The entire paragraph. The restrictions of the power of the council. The council shall not have the power to make any contract with or give any official position to any person who is in default to the city. I think we're all familiar with that one. Except in the course of an investigation, neither the council nor any of its committees shall deal directly with any appointed administrative officer or department of the city, but shall conduct its affairs with such officers and departments through the mayor. If I am conducting an investigation, I do not have to go through the mayor's office. It states clearly, except in the course of an investigation. And I'm entitled to investigate.
May I interject for 1 moment?
I have an obligation on behalf of the residents of the city to conduct investigations. I mean, that's what the Detroit City Council is trying to do now, and all kinds of legal blocks are being thrown out. This is just outrageous. It goes on further. The council shall not have the power to sell any park, cemetery, or any part thereof, except where such park is not required under an official master plan of the city or any property bordering on a waterfront, or to engage in any business enterprise requiring an investment of money in excess of 10 cents per capita, unless approved by 3/5 of the electors of the city voting thereon at any general or special election. If I wish to conduct an investigation, I am entitled. I am entitled to look where I must look. I am entitled to receive documents. I don't believe the mayor is entitled to keep anything confidential that is a city document. It belongs to the people of this city, not to the mayor. I am, you know, under Mayor Steenberg, by this time I had met department heads. I had not only their office numbers, I had their cell phone numbers. We got a directory of the City of Warren employees. June 2006. This isn't who's in office now. A whole lot of these people are gone. I mean, I look to see who's our police commissioner, James Vogt, and a lot of other people who they're not even here. Why waste all this paper to give us an outdated directory? To me, this was just reinforcement. This administration doesn't want us to have contact with department heads. And I guess the only way I'm going to find out who these department heads are is by asking the employees of the city. And most of the employees are pretty happy to talk to me.